And here we are live. It is time for some Six Nations rugby with myself, Brandon Smith, and we do have a special guest once again this week, and I will get him in just a second. But it's Wales against Scotland, ending the Six Nations at this time of year. Feels very, very strange. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, follow our Facebook pages. We're live on Brandon Smith Rugby on Facebook, and also we're live on the Welsh Rugby Roundup show. So make sure to follow our pages for that. We're going to take a look at the team news before kickoff at 2:15. And also, we're going to chat through the game as it goes on. Just before we get going, though, I do have to say I will not be showing the game. Scottish Rugby, Welsh Rugby Union, S4C, BBC will probably have something to say to me about it if I start streaming the actual game. So if you think you're here for that, it's not the right place. You can watch it and have us on the side and get involved in the comments about what you think about this game, who you're backing to win, and what are your expectations of this game, and what are you thinking? Are you excited to see Six Nations back again? And finally, before we get the guest in, I will also be doing a watch-along for Italy against England, which will be pretty much on live straight after this game. So stick around and you'll be able to watch that. Anyway, I've talked enough. I'm going to welcome our guest. It is none other than Kyle. Kyle, welcome. How are you doing, man?
Hello. How are you, Brandon?
Yeah, very well. You're wearing the wrong colours, mate. I think it's red you need to be wearing.
No. Today we're locking horns. Looking forward to the next couple of hours. It'll be an interesting chat between two fans of the opposition. But no, I'm looking forward to it. Shame that the game's not in the Principality Stadium. That again, there's no fans, but we'll have to make the best of it, won't we? So just hoping it's a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to get your thoughts on this. We'll go straight into it. Pau Cascales, do you think that's going to be a positive for you? Because obviously, of course, your record at the Millennium, or Principality as it's called, is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. I've absolutely no idea. It's really hard to tell. I suppose you could say maybe the elements. But it doesn't look like it's a windy day. It looks like a pretty sunny day over there, actually. So I don't think they'll be a big factor. But the no crowds thing will be interesting. But whether it's going to make a difference, I don't know. We'll see by 4:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, and do you know what? The one day where you want it to be wet and raining in Llanelli, it's fucking sunny, isn't it? It's just ridiculous.
I honestly don't think that makes a difference, because we played in atrocious conditions at Murrayfield earlier in the years against England and lost that match, and it didn't suit us at all, or it didn't suit England either, to be fair. But Norway, so I don't think the conditions are a massive factor. It's all about who plays the ball, and I'm actually glad it's a sunny day because we might actually see some good rugby.
Yeah, both sides like to throw the ball about for sure. Let's get into some of your comments. Let me know in the comments your predictions for this one. Joe Lyons clearly wants Scotland to win. Come on, Scotland. I might have to boot you off the channel for saying things like that. Gregor says, Scotland have not won in Wales since 2002. Today's probably their best chance, in my opinion. I'm very nervous for this one. Freddie says it's going to be a close game. I think Scotland are going to win. I was on Freddie's channel recently. And he does some great content, so check him out. Greg is also back in Scotland to win. What's going on? Joe Lyon says this, and I know you've got a strong opinion on this. The fake noise is so bad, it's like maybe just have the players talk. I know you're not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Scrap the fan noise, do you think?
I can see. I can see what they're trying to do with it, but it just doesn't work. It's just so rubbish. You can tell. It's like when someone scores a try, you can tell it's just someone sitting behind the monitor just presses a button when that happens, and it's just really, just really fake. I mean, but I've watched some football games where they don't have the canned crowd noise, and it's a lot more interesting to listen to. I actually find soaking it in for what it is there, but I'm personally not in favour of it. I prefer if we could get some real fans back. Albeit, as we've said before, I understand they can't get full stadiums yet, but I've said numerous times I see no reason why they can't get some fans back, and the risk of a COVID outbreak being low. No, it is what it is just now. So make the best of it.
Yeah, I've had to watch a few football games, and I always find it fascinating to hear people speak about like about talking to each other. You hear the tactics, you see what they're trying to do, and I think that's really fascinating.
You hear some language as well, which is maybe not appropriate for 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, especially if the kids are watching. But
yeah, maybe that's the big thing behind it. Let's take a look at both sets of teams. There's one change for Wales, and we'll get to that in a second. This is the Wales team, but there is one change, as I said. So starting with the front row, Rhys Carre, Ryan Elias and Thomas Francis as a front row pairing, with Will Rowlands and Alun Jones as captain there. Alun Jones, of course, international appearance record holder, now overtaking Richie McCaw. He's simply a god here in Wales. You know, he'll get a statue, that's for sure. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you got Shane Lewis-Hughes, who's actually having his first cap today, his first start, and he's only played 40 times for Cardiff Blues, but he comes into this one. Justin Tipuric is on your screen, but he's not going to be on the pitch. He's pulled out with an injury concern, and so James Cubby Davis, comes in and replaces him, and then Faletau completes the forwards. If we then look at the backs, we got Lee Hoffman, he's starting at fullback. Liam Williams comes in for George North. George North really struggled with form, and he's dropped out of the squad completely, and I actually think that's quite a good thing. Centre partnership then of Jonathan Davis and Owen Watkin. I really like Owen Watkin. Josh Adams then on the wing, and then Dan Bigger starts with Gareth Davis, who comes in for the injured Rhys Webb. So that leaves a bench then of Nick Tompkins, Reece Patchell, Lloyd Williams, Corey Hill, Dylan Lewis, Wyn Jones, and Sam Parry. Kyle, your thoughts on that team? Anything you're nervous about as a Scotsman, or pretty confident looking at that side?
Nervous about obviously the 3/4 line. Give any of them space; they're always going to be dangerous. I'm hoping Dan Bigger's still kicking the goals after his cracking performance last week, because if Lee Halfpenny has taken over as first choice kicker, I'm pretty nervous. Obviously, I mean, Gareth Davis, I mean, we all know his passing isn't the best for a number 9 at that standard, but still he can be a dangerous player in the loose, and you know he's good at supporting runs, and also we need to make sure our passing's accurate, so he's not going to get a sniff of an intercept at all. That'll mainly be on Ali Price from 9 to do that. In the pack, obviously, as you mentioned, the great Alun Wyn Jones, absolute testament to not just him as a player, but him as a man as well, how he's managed to stay at a high standard for as long as he has, and to be as consistent as he has, and to stay as fit as he has done for so long. Absolute testament. And as always, he's a player, in any opposition, sort of he's the player you'd have to stand out with great respect and great fear as well. But now, obviously, in Faletau at 8 on his day, as we know, always a threat. And I'm interested to see how the two newish flankers do. Because, obviously, James Davis know a bit about. He's not the same as Justin Tipuric. He's a bit more of a big lump of a forward. And Shane Lewis-Hughes, pardon me, is that his name?
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I've not seen him that much, I'll be honest. So I'm interested to see how he goes along. But I think that's one area we could have the upper hand, because if Jamie Ritchie and Hamish Watson have been absolutely outstanding this year, so if they can keep their form going, I think we'll be doing well there. So, yeah, I mean, again, if Wales get their more expansive game clicking a lot better, more consistently than they have been doing, I would be fearful. But at the same time, a lot of more international rugby comes down to defence. I think our defence has improved. Ironically, we're being defence coached by a Welshman in Steve Tandy, ex-Ospreys flanker, as you'll know, Brandon. Byron Hayward, the Welsh defence coach, he's not started too well. But so that could be the difference, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be very close. Let's quickly take a look at the Scotland team. 2 names back in the squad, which obviously stand out. Let's start with the front row, though. Can't talk. Rory, let's try again. Rory Sutherland starts in the front row alongside Fraser Brown and Xander Fagerson, with a lock partnership of Scott Cummings and Johnny Gray. Johnny Gray, of course, back after playing for Exeter.
Sorry, Brandon. I just got to put a quick word about they just minute silence for JJ Williams.
Oh, of course, yeah.
As I said, what a player back in his day. Played a great part in the Welsh success in the 1970s. So just to say condolences to him, and he'll be fondly remembered and sadly missed.
Yeah, and the Wales players will be wearing black tape around their shirts to commemorate him. And as you said, what a player! And just taken too soon, too young to go. Let's carry on with the team, though. Johnny Gray, of course, from Exeter, is back in the squad. Jamie Ritchie is starting alongside Hamish Watson, and then Blake Thompson at 8. Of course, he's got links to Wales. Then starting at the fullback, Stuart Hogg is captain and back after his success with Exeter. And then the wingers are Darcy Graham and Blair Kinghorn with a centre partnership of James Lang and Chris Harris. And then, of course, the halfback pairing is Ali Price and Finn Russell, the Maverick, is back. Quickly, just before kick-off and the anthems, thoughts on this team?
I think more or less what I was expecting. Maybe a little bit surprised they've kept James Lang in at 12. I'm not sure if Sam Johnson's injured or not, because I would have thought they've gone with him back at 12, but they've stuck with Lang. He did all right last week. I didn't think he was particularly outstanding. But apart from that, as you were, I think pretty much the team I would have picked. Albeit I don't know if Richie Gray's injured or he's just not, considered good enough or fit enough right now to be in the team. But neither second row Ben Toulis or Scott Cummins disgraced themselves at all last week, so they deserve to be in the 23. And obviously Johnny Gray back at second row as well. But no, I think, as I said, more or less the team I would have picked. So happy enough. And it's great to see Finn Russell back again.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately for me. Quite a few comments coming in now. Freddie Clark is back in Scotland to win this one, 28 points to 22. A few people obviously messaging about JJ Williams there. Sean Connery also, sadly, the news came through about him passing away today, 90 years old, although nothing to do with rugby. So important to British culture, Scottish culture, and everything like that.
Even though he lived in the Bahamas for the last years of his life, so
yeah. Hey, if you got that kind of money, why not?
I'm just saying he's been for Scottish independence and he lives in a completely other country. I mean, so that's. Not that I'm against Scottish independence at all. I'm more for it, but I don't want to get political, of course. But he lives in a different country. But hey ho, like as you say, you've got that kind of money. Can you really blame him? Not
Absolutely.
Really.
So then, just before kickoff, then I want your predictions in the chat, but also we'll come to Kyle. What are you saying?
I gave a prediction in my preview video, which I am still very nervous about because the last time I thought I was this confident going to Cardiff, Wales absolutely battered us 34-7 2 years ago. So I'm still going to predict Scotland but I don't want to hold myself out on it at all. But
So Scotland to win by one score, you're saying?
Yeah, one score, yeah.
My heart says something. My head says something completely different.
I do think it's going to come down to the defense and one or two moments in the game that will decide it. So it'll be interesting to see how we can handle those moments.
Yeah, I think the defense is going to be so important. If we can stop you from having quick ball. And my big worry is if you get turnover ball and our defence is all over the place, you've got incredible players in that back line who can really punish us. So we're going to have to be very disciplined and our defence needs to be a lot better than it has been. It seems that one of the big issues we faced was communication. We didn't seem to communicate on the pitch. I don't know if you felt like that.
Yeah, no, I was just struggling to work out at times what Wales are trying to do now defensively. They have this seem to be going for this umbrella defence. Which if it doesn't work can leave a lot of room, lot of gaps, and just not work at all. And then there's other times where you seem to be going very narrow, and then other times there's one or two players just shooting out the line, and it's not like it's done in any sort of sequence or any kind of pattern. You could have moments. I mean, under Gatlin and Edwards, there are moments where individuals might shoot up the line, but it's always done at a particular point on the pitch or in in sequence, or someone's called a certain defensive move. But no, I don't know at the moment what's going on with this Welsh defence and what Byron Hayward and Wayne Pivac are trying to do with it.
Yeah, what I noticed was last week, there was one try that France scored. I think it was a second for Dupont when Vakatawa gets the assist and Tipuric flies out the line. And there's just no communication that he's going to do that, or he's communicated it and nobody's done it with him. And then the try that the props score for for France, the shot that he scores, Reece Webb's on his own. I mean, Reece Webb's trying to stop a prop from 2 meters out. It's just not going to happen. And let's quickly have a look at some of the predictions that have come in. Nick is saying a 20-20 points draw. I think it's going to be a bit higher scoring than that. Reece then is back in Wales, 22-20. So it's going to be a close one. That's what a lot of people think. I'm going to back Scotland to win this by 7 to 10 points. I think so, yeah. 7 to 10 points. But, I'm very happy to be wrong in this instance. So hopefully we can get the win here. What's important for Scotland to do in the first 20 minutes, you feel? What's going to be key for you?
Well, try and score as many points as possible. I think just at the moment, just make sure we're doing the basics well. Try and get down into Wales's half as much as possible. Put their back. I know their back three generally good under high balls, but try and put them under a bit of pressure early doors. Move them about a bit, and just basically try and make sure Wales don't get the room and that we're competing at almost every breakdown and not giving anything silly away, and obviously any opportunities that come, make sure we're clinical.
Absolutely. So the referee is Andrew Brace from Ireland. So he's the referee today.
Start.
Let's go.
Turn over there.
As always, guys, throughout the game, get your comments in. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And also follow us on Facebook. Carl's also got a channel, so check his channel out, Starkey. I'll put a link in the chat in a little bit. But Scotland have turned the ball over here. And a penalty. And a penalty. The perfect start for us Welsh fans.
I'd go for what they're doing. I'd go for 3 points here.
I think that's going to be the really important factor in this game, because if you can keep the scoreboard ticking, you play sensible rugby, you use your brain, you think, right, here we're going to go for the points. There's no point trying to go for the corner and losing the opportunity to take the points.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand more with obviously the bonus point now, why teams are trying to go for the tries more often early doors. But it's not a strategy I'm generally in favor of. Because I prefer to get, because you see New Zealand do it. Normally they go with the penalties early on, and they sort of build the score and pile the pressure, and then they more or less break away and blow the opposition away. And so that's a bit how I think teams that are a bit pragmatic and sensible should be starting. Just keep the points ticking, and then the game opens up a bit more.
And then look to expand. He's missed. He's missed. Right. We'll take it though. Scotland looking straight away to play though, and it's going to be interesting to see our defence. I think we need to settle into this game. We've got a lot of youngsters in there as well who will just look to get the ball in hand and take their time. And we'll have to see. It's very strange watching this at Parc y Scarlets, I must say.
Aye, absolutely.
Very strange.
Oh, come on. Still got territory. It's not too bad. Aye. I've got a few question marks about Finn Russell doing the goal kicking though, because he doesn't kick regularly for Racing. It's normally Machino who's the kicker for them. So.
It's going to be interesting for me to see how the likes of Ryan Elias does. He had a very poor game last week against France, I felt. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he can cope. I just think we need to play sensible rugby. I think sometimes under this Pivac style of play, we try and play a little bit too much. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with going into the contact and just taking your time and building the platform, going through the phases. Sometimes I think we just think, right, chance to attack, let's just go. Which it's entertaining, but then when you lose the ball, your defence is all over the place, and a team like Scotland will look to punish us.
No. Still not. Still think we should be getting the balance a bit better of when we're going wide and when we're taking it in, from Scotland's point of view, that is.
Do you think the temptation sometimes is for these players that they think they've got Finn Russell at 10, so they're just gonna go straight to him and just try and throw to him and say, Finn, do your magic?
Sometimes, but I think you have to still have the brains and know that you have to give him, if he's going to do anything, you have to give him a platform. And at the moment, that's not well, I know they're only 3 minutes in, but it's not like happened yet.
Lovely little dummy from the linesman there.
Oh, for God's sake, what does he do? He's just guessing.
Wales need to get a little bit of ball here because we've been camped in our own 22, pretty much own half.
Got a penalty off a scrum. I've no idea why. Referee just
Does anyone know?
No, I think the referee was. I mean, they both seemed to go down at the same time. I think the referee was just guessing there.
As a referee, do you think that you would favour the more attacking side, for instance? So if a scrum happens, something like that happens, and you're thinking, all right, who's attacking here? Who's the more dominant side? Do you tend to favour them?
Yeah. I mean, you find that with a lot of referees do that across all levels, unless it's glaringly obvious that the team who's putting the ball in is being driven backwards at a rate of knots, then but you generally find there will be some referees who will look a bit pedantically, but I mean, for the most part, you do find it is a case of just seeing who's on the front foot and going from there. Not saying that's necessarily always right, but I'm just saying that's how it seems to be refereed.
Let's see if our set piece can be a little bit better this week. It's a strange selection for me from Pivac. There seems, I don't know, I'm not really sure what he's going for. If he was going for youth, I thought he'd have put more in, but he's kind of gone for half and half. And this team doesn't seem balanced at all, in my opinion. I just think it's a bit all over the place, just throwing players together. Some of them don't make sense, but I'm excited to see how some of them will do.
That's better. Good. Okay, come on. Thought that was a bit fine from the Welsh defence there. Come on, just okay. Momentum's lost a bit. Just go through phases and get into their half. All right, that's it.
Scotland with so much possession here, and
penalty now, not rolling away quickly enough. Alan Wynne penalised there.
What a day! What a way to mark your special day! What a way! I mean, I can't criticise the guy. I can't. I just can't do it. But
it's only one penalty in early days.
Yeah.
Not far yet.
Exactly. You must be very encouraged by the way you've started this game, and we just don't seem to be able to do much really at the minute.
It would have been nice if we got those 3 points off the penalty, but no. If so far encouraging, albeit I think we still need to get a bit of a better balance as to when to go wide, because there's been a couple of times we tried to throw it a bit when we haven't set the platform up well enough. I don't think anyway, but I hope we've been doing well. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut here actually. I was going to... Oh, for fuck's sake! Pardon my language. Not straight throwing. I was trying to keep my mouth shut because I was going to say we've been doing well at set pieces, and I thought, no, we're going to stop this up, and we did.
Well, both sides' set pieces haven't started the best.
Apologies to anyone if there's any kids watching, but...
He's a passionate Scotsman, that's for sure. I don't know. I'm a bit concerned with how... We just need the ball. We have not had the ball at all. I'd be quite interested to see what the possession stats are.
If I were Wales, I'd just say drop it again and see what happens.
I just think we need to have a bit of ball, and just go through the phases. That's all we need to do for a bit.
Okay, that's a bit steadier. That's it. Yeah, put pressure. Oh, dude. Yes. Penalty there.
Talk us through that penalty, Kyle. What's happened?
Was a knock. Wales, I think, I can't mind who picked it up. They knocked it on in the contact, and the guy in front, I think it's Elias, Welsh hooker. He was in front of the man who knocked the ball on, so therefore the offside penalty. The penalty that was famously wrongly awarded at the 2015 World Cup against Scotland.
Not bitter at all, are you?
Yeah, you got to move on, but just.
So tell us why Craig Joubert's your favourite ref. Tell us about that.
I nearly bumped into him once actually at the 2017 Dubai Sevens. I was like, because I remember we're just I think walking along, I just kind of saw him not too far away from me at one point. So
should have worn a Scottish shirt and walked straight up to me to run miles away.
Yes, 3 points Scotland.
So Scotland leading 3-0 here, penalty there for Scotland and totally deserved. Scotland absolutely dominating possession and pretty much territory. Wales not having any of the ball and not able to do anything. We just need a bit of ball. We haven't settled into this game at all, and Scotland have been so dominant.
I think this going for a bit more pragmatic styles working for us a bit better, but I still think we're need to get a bit of better balance as to our game. So because I obviously want to see us score tries.
I think you have to earn the. I don't know if earn the right is right. Well, I think it is. You have to earn the right to go wide and to try things, and you have to use your brain. If you get an opportunity to take the penalty, I think you take it in this instance.
Like I said, early doors, just keep piling this, trying to get the scoreboard ticking, and then you blow away. Because did you see the New Zealand tanking of the Wallabies earlier today?
I did not see it. I heard about it. I was unfortunately
that was
in work.
Straight. Yeah, well, come on. At least he's consistent. Sorry.
It's all right. But yeah, I did. I heard about it. Did you see Dave Rennie's post-match interview afterwards?
No, I know. I only saw some of the highlights of it just before we came on air actually. So I don't know that much about what the coaches said, etc.
Well, he was speaking about he's been there for how long now? 6 months, maybe something like that. Although they haven't played much rugby, and he was it's a 4-year plan. Yeah, and he was like, it's a 4-year plan. It's a 4-year plan. That was his answer to everything.
Well, the thing is, obviously, because Pocock's not there anymore, and you just it's kind of weird because I remember all those Australian teams growing up, you always had at least 5 or 6 players throughout the team who were just more or less superstars, and you think we'd get into pretty much any world team at the time. But now I just looked through the Australian team, and with Pocock gone now, obviously Palau went a while ago, and you just look at the Australian team now, and there's not really hardly anyone that just stands out and you say, that's a great player. That's a player who will get into the World 15. So,
and I think they're missing a lot of experience. The likes of Genya has retired. Pocock going now. As you said, Flower, they're very controversial. Just as a rugby player, one of the best in the world in his position, probably the best in the world in his position at a point. So they are missing a lot of quality.
Okay. So, sorry, yeah. I was trying to encourage us to get a penalty off that scrum, pardon me. So. Okay. You happy to see Liam Williams back in a Welsh shirt?
I am. It's an interesting debate with him and George North, of course. George North not in the matchday squad. I just think he's such a confidence player. And I think putting him into this game would be unfair. What's the best thing for him would be he doesn't get picked for the Autumn's Cup at all. He goes back to the Ospreys, plays week in, week out there, goes and smashes Zebra 1 week, gets 3 tries, gets his confidence back up, and then he can then look to try and just improve a little bit because he's just so low on confidence. The Welsh media is scrutinising him. I think against France, he touched the ball 2 or 3 times, if that. And then Liam Williams, he hasn't. He's played 1 game of rugby in the past 7 months. So how fit he really is. Louis V. Samet couldn't play because of injury. So if he was fit, I don't know if Samet would have started. I think Liam Williams is just such a quality player that if he's available, I think you do play him, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder because I think Liam Williams is better as a fullback than he is as a winger. I think he's obviously, the winger, he still does the job well, but I think at fullback is his best position.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, Halfpenny, he's there for his kicking, and I don't know if he's going to kick this week. We'll have to wait and see. But his defence as a fullback has improved so much, and the high ball as well. He's always got that option.
I don't know. I think this year I've seen him under the high ball. He seems to have lost that side of his game a wee bit. I mean, there was a couple of balls earlier in the tournament, and one notable against France when France scored a try off it. You think like that's a ball we halfpenny would be catching 9 times out of 10. He just doesn't see. I mean, and last week he was he played okay, but I mean from the player that Lee Halfpenny's again. As a not straight throw, I just want to have a.
I'm not sure if it's too windy down there at all.
I don't know if it's that or the referee just being very pedantic. I know he's right. No, it's right enough there. It wasn't straight. Aye. But I mean,
to be honest,
you find like a lot of those throws like they shouldn't be, but most referees seem to let them go. Like
yeah.
So I mean, this guy, what's his name? The referee?
I've forgotten what is his name. I'll find out.
Like he just seems something he seems to be hot on. So players need to, obviously it's the player's responsibility. They've got to adapt. So you can't be.
To be honest, though, first 15 minutes for how bad we've been. I mean, I'm not that annoyed with the scoreboard being only 3-0. The fact that we've been that bad.
Oh, and, no, come on.
One mistake from Scotland could let us back in it.
Well, I just said one mistake, and we've just, almost gave you a counter-attack chance there. Oh, thank you. And you knocked on. Thank you.
Do you know what? You make a mistake, we make a mistake. It's just like a trade thing. That's what we're doing.
Fair. I see what Finn Russell was trying to do. He just didn't. Just the bounce the ball got away from him a bit there. So, aye. But that's another problem with this Welsh team right now. Is like under Gatland, you see the kind of balls they're dropping. Like under Gatland, there would have been that ruthless mindset of like do the basics well, make sure you catch the ball, even if you get tackled, you just catch the ball first, and then you go from there. But this like Wales just seem to be like it's all about like pace. They're just like sort of not the concentration to making sure you do the basics well. Just doesn't seem to be there right now.
Yeah, I don't know. So, as we said before, you have to earn the right to play. You have to have the platform to play. A counter attack is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I like having a counter attack, but you got to earn the right to play. You got to have the platform. The players have to be ready at the end of the day. There's no point in swinging a pass out when he's on his own, and then 3 defenders going to get onto it.
Well, that, but also if you're in the receiving end of the pass, you have to just make sure you catch the ball first.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Well, just start came up on the TV there. 47% of the play has been in the Welsh half, and then we've been 3% of the time in the Scottish 22. So it's shown how dominant Scotland have been here. Would you say maybe you're a little bit disappointed that you haven't added to your 3 points?
Well, it's just the start, so we're still trying to, I think, find a pattern of play. So I wouldn't say disappointed. I mean, I think we should have be at least 6 points up, but. And I've got another penalty there.
Yeah.
I'd say, I don't know.
Is it time to put your foot on the throat?
Well, we're going for the corner. Need to make sure we get the line out right. I mean, all the referees, as they're showing all the lineouts so far, the referee's very hot on the throw, so we have to make sure that we get that right. So.
I mean, at the minute, it doesn't feel like we can actually deal at all with your pace. With in the lead up to penalty there, Hogg, ran straight through. Wasn't that much to stop him really, and again, then because we're behind, we're slagging behind. We're just making mistakes, tired mistakes, silly mistakes that don't need to be made.
Aye. Just try and speed up the game a wee bit here.
I feel this next 5 to 10 minutes is going to be key for us in this game. If you score here.
Well, this is where Wales' defence needs to be fair. I mean, I know it's only 20 minutes in, but so far, Wales have looked a bit more organised as a unit in defence. Like, they're too often against France, as we said earlier, they're coming out in ones and twos. Chance here. Come on. Alan Wynne-Jones being a pain in the ass again. No, he is a great player at like doing the little things that nobody notices or no. Yeah.
I do.
Oh, here we are. Yes. Oh, you divvy.
I do think we're going to miss the likes of Navidi today. He does so much work that's unseen, and he's so key for us. He makes such a difference.
Aye. Jonathan Davis giving us his ever so impartial commentary again.
We're never biased here in Wales. What are you on about?
It's just him and Martin Williams, but I'm glad he's not with the BBC anymore.
So Scotland throwing the ball about quite nicely. Kyle's reaction there as Scotland looked to try to score. Hogg got through, played the ball through to the centre, but he dropped the ball. I mean, at the minute, Scotland completely on top. And if you could just get those one or two little mistakes out your game, I mean, I'd be quite worried, to be honest.
Aye. I think Hogg made a mistake there. I think he should have tried and stepped in and taken on Halfpenny. He might have risked getting isolated if he'd got tackled, but he would have, penetrated the Welsh defence a lot more. So
just over 20 minutes in, get your thoughts in the comments on the first 20 minutes of this one. Scotland very dominant so far, but still only 3-0 down for Wales. So I'm not too worried. Just being 3-0 down isn't too bad. But looking back at that opportunity there for Scotland, Jonathan Davis sucked out a little bit. But I mean, the boost that you guys are having with having the likes of Hogg back and of Finn Russell is, I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
I wouldn't say ridiculous yet, but yeah, it's better. No, we're a better team with them both in it. I still think it comes down to balance and just trying to be clinical, and because they've tried to do things that it's not quite come off yet, but again, still early days, so hopefully. Just if we just keep doing it, making sure they've got a platform, then we can see more of it.
Yeah.
As I say, your defence so far started quite brightly, I have to say.
Yeah, a little bit more. A bit more organisation, maybe a bit more communication going on, and
yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, I look a little bit. Well, so far, I look a little bit more of a unit than you did last week against France. So. Come on, use it. Just get on someone to chunk it up. Come on. Or box kick, one of the two. That was a decent counter attack there from Wales. Oh, that was as not straight as last. Oh, now there we go. Aye.
I'm not really sure what's going on with us here. We are, I don't know, like defensively, we do look okay, but it's just
Aye.
we're just not having any of the ball. There's no patience. We're just simply looking to take all the pressure and then look to break on the counter. And we do have the players to do it, like Liam Williams, Josh Adams. Josh Adams, one of the best finishers in the world from less than 20 meters, in my opinion.
Aye. Commentators were saying that's last not straight throw is the wind. I think, I don't know, just looking at Elias's hands, I think it was more of a technical, just the way he threw it just kind of went over a bit too much.
I think he struggled a little bit. I hate to call out individual players because you don't really know what's going on, but he has struggled in the past 2 games. Against France, I mean, he really struggled under the pressure. But you'd have to say that the Scottish front row and probably some of the pack as well, maybe that little bit more experience.
Well, you've got you've got Thomas Francis back, of course. So.
But looking at your back row options is just insane. Jamie Ritchie, Hamish Watson. I think they're brilliant players, and I don't think they'll start for the Lions, but I think they've certainly got to be on the tour for sure.
Aye, well, again, that's a conversation for after the next Six Nations, I think. At the moment, yes, I agree with you, but I just kind of think there's, I mean, we're getting into the habits of talking about it all now, but I think, the real decider is around March time, and obviously who's in form, fit, injured, all that stuff. So,
aye, indeed.
It's just quite. I hate these reset scrums. I just hate them. I honestly rather the scrums just started out like an uncontested scrum, just to keep the bloody thing up before the actual ball goes in. Oh, here we are.
It's just a frustrating, isn't it?
Aye.
Well, stupid scrum.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Sort of if I understand Crouch Bind Set was trying to keep the scrums up a bit. It's not really. So it's just about, again, I just think start it like an uncontested, just get the 2 packs together, keep them kind of there, and no contest. I mean, this is how it should be in theory anyway. They shouldn't be pushing as a contest until the ball goes in. But there's too much happening where it's just they're just pushing and shoving each other before the ball's even gone in there. So that's something that needs to, I don't think gets addressed enough. Oh, aye, that was Rhys Carey's definitely there, popped up first.
So Scotland pretty much dominating in every position, to be honest, at the minute.
Still only 3-0 though.
That's the thing, though. I think, I do think we'll get a patch in this game where we will have a lot more of the ball.
Yeah.
So our only 3-0 down, it's not too bad. But again, we're not patient. We're not having, we haven't had the ball, basically. So I don't think we can, I don't know. It just feels like this team is very disjointed.
Wynn, you absolute bastard. No, that was fair. That was great play by Alan Wynne-Jones there. Just took the line out off it.
I mean, we've conceded 6 penalties already in the first 25 minutes.
Aye.
So it's pretty poor from us. But I think that's the pressure Scotland are putting on us in lots of areas.
Aye, but I will say they have had a couple of mini counter. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, maybe not. You have had a couple of mini counter attacks where you've looked almost, kind of dangerous. Oh, I'm sick of those fucking. So, that's something we need to be making sure we're wary of. Come on, stay in. Oh. Sorry about the language, guys. Sorry, Brandon. I do get this is a family show, so
yeah,
you're trying to make it so I do.
This is such a strange game.
So far, yeah.
It's so strange, isn't it? It's a very strange one, this one.
Oh, this could think.
Do you think the fact that there isn't really much riding on this game, in a sense, do you think that's playing into the player's mind, or do you think because they're professionals, they'll just simply just want to get the victory?
I think it's victory first, definitely. But most of the rain's coming down a bit, so I don't think that would help if we're wanting a bit more of an open game. I'm sick of it when we do those kind of flat passes though, like kind of flat passes where you try to be like sly and you make it sort of deliberately flat, but because most of the time they just end up going forward. So I just think, just.
I think they're really made for players to run onto though and try and have an impact.
I can
but
understand the theory behind them, but it's so high risk. I just think why not just spin your hand like a little bit more backwards and just make sure you're.
It also, if that ball, goes backwards a little bit, it gives more time for the player to decide what to do, to look up, and I think that's what Scotland are so good at, are looking up, seeing what's in front of them a lot of the time.
It's good kick by Talupe there.
Done like Phil Bennett, beautiful stuff.
Maybe not. Well, maybe not quite. Didn't have quite Phil Bennett's pace, but.
Well, this is really our first time to put you under pressure in your own 22, so we need to look to do something here. Maybe get a penalty. I mean, if we could go in at half-time 3-3 or just even 3-0 down, I'd be very happy with that, considering the way that you've played and we've played.
The problem with us is we've not been that accurate so far. We've had moments, but and only 3-0 needs to be,
So 10 minutes to go until half time. Get your thoughts in the chat on the first half an hour not being the most spectacular, that's for sure. But, let me know. If you're a Scottish fan, you must be pretty pleased to an extent. But as a Wales fan, I wouldn't say the word is concerned, really. I'd just say frustrated. I think I'm just frustrated.
Yeah, there's definitely bits of your game, like especially in defence, where you're looking a lot better this week and looking a lot more together. But for God's sake! Didn't swear there. Didn't swear. Wales attack now. Stupid line out throw. We should have gone to the front.
The first opportunity really for us to attack here. I mean, could you imagine if we got a try here and we'd done nothing all game? Penalty on its way for Wales.
Well done. Try.
Go on, talk us through it.
Rhys Carey's got it. Basically, a suicidal throw by Fraser Brown. We should have gone for the front of the line-outs, kept it secure and kicked away. Wales got at the back through Elias. They went through the phases, got penalty advantage, went round the post and basically worked their way in. And Rhys Carey's the last man up there, ended up getting over the line. So well worked. Well taken by Wales, but really poor execution in the basics from Scotland.
Just looking at it now, I think, very patient build-up, taking our time, going through the phases, not panicking, not thinking we need to throw this one out wide. And Rhys Carey's a massive lump up top, isn't he? So him powering over there. But from a Welsh perspective, I mean, we've done absolutely nothing all game. As Freddie Clark says here, I'll just put a comment up. He says, Wales not being in it. we've just not been in the game except for the last 5 minutes. And as I said,
Finn Russell's going off now.
For an injury?
Yes, looks like it. Adam Hastings coming on.
Well, that's going to have a massive impact on the game, isn't it?
Hopefully not. I don't know what we were doing there. Like, why go to the back of the line out in your own when you're 10 meters from your own line?
Why would you play so risky in that kind of position? You keep it simple. You could take the ball, maybe have a little driving maul, and then Ali Price gets rid of it.
Aye.
So Wales leading 7 points to 3 here, and a blow for Scotland with Finn Russell leaving. Seems got an injury to his leg of some sorts. Could be a hamstring, maybe. Hopefully nothing too serious. Quality player, and we love to see him play. Yeah, that throw-in, just looking back at it now, I mean, if you're going to do that, you have someone at the back of the line now, just in case it goes wrong. And with the conditions, you play to the conditions. You use your brain. You play to the conditions.
Well, in those positions, it's not the conditions. It's just making sure you take the ball in and, secure it back so you can clear your lines. Nothing.
And Wales playing with a little bit more confidence here, picking up the pace a little bit.
Aye. Oh, stop the flap. Oh. I think that was a proper tackle, Fraser Brown there. Mute the sound for a few minutes. Jonathan Davis.
All right, sound.
Jonathan Davis' commentary really just grates my earth.
Well, I just had an opportunity just before there. Josh Adams bursted through. Ball was put to Gareth Davis, and they tried to go through the phases.
Fraser Brown. That's right enough. Fraser Brown didn't use his proper technique in that tackle. So.
No,
stupid, but hey ho, right call by the referee.
Andrew Brace is the referee. I was reminded by someone in the comments. I was reminded by someone there. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're pushing towards that 1,000 subscribers mark. We'd love to hit that soon. And also, if you're watching on the Facebook pages, make sure to like the pages. We got a Welsh Rugby Roundup show on Monday night, 8:30. We're going to round up the action from the weekend and talk a lot about Welsh, everything to do with Welsh Rugby, in fact. So join us for that one.
Wales got a good attack transition here.
Well, if another try before half-time would be lovely.
No, just sad to see Finn go off after coming back and how well he's been doing for Racing. So
let's hope it's not something that's too serious, because he generally is a brilliant player. I love watching him play. He's just a maverick, isn't he? He just loves to try things. And so losing him from a game, even if he is on the opposing team, yes, it does help Wales, but it's also not a great thing to see someone leave the pitch because of injury.
yes,
Penalty to Scotland.
Jamie Ritchie, masterclass.
So after all that possession from Wales, Scotland have the penalty. It's a bit annoying, but
that's fantastic play. Aye.
Jamie Ritchie over the ball there.
And we missed our touch now. Momentum's on Wales' side now after that. After that try. We're just shooting ourselves in the foot again.
It's been such a scrappy game, hasn't it? It's been all over the place, and there's been no real rhythm to the game at all.
No, I mean...
So just about 3 minutes to go until half time.
No! Come on! Hi.
Adam Hastings' first involvement just a second ago to kick it straight out. Lovely stuff.
He's a bit on. I think he got
the idea was right. The idea was right, wasn't it? But the execution
yeah.
just wasn't quite there, was it?
No, he just needs to try and put a little bit less weight on it. But no, yeah.
So last opportunity now before half time, probably for Wales to get anything extra.
I'm sick of this. The scrums I'm talking about. That's forward. Come on, ref. That's forward.
So just a reminder that we will take a break for half time for around 5 minutes. Just gives us a chance to get drinks, hit the bog if we need to. But don't go anywhere. We will be back and we'll discuss the first half and look forward to the second half. And we do have 2 other games today, of course, that we'll have a quick chat about and keep the conversation going in the chat as well.
We've got a penalty now. I'd be happy if we can... I don't know if we can at least just set up and just come away with some points here, even if it's just going in 7-6 at half time. I'd be okay with that.
You have been pretty strong at the breakdown, haven't you? Turning the ball over, getting over the top. Is that a game plan? Do you think that's something that they're targeting with Wales?
Yeah, it's I think it is definitely one of our strengths. With the back row we have, and we got back 5 we've had because Johnny Gray's a good at around the breakdown as well. Well, when he wants to be. Now we throw it at the back there and we make it accurate. Free play. I try and...
So Scotland can hold out. Not Scotland, Wales can hold out here.
Yeah, I think
it'd be ideal, but they do have the advantage.
I'll take the point. I think we should take the points here. It's going 7-6. That'll be... No, take the points. Yes, good.
So Scotland deciding to take the points here. So I'll make it 7-6 at half time.
No.
I mean, quickly, how do you summarise this first half for Scotland? What are your thoughts?
Well, we've had most of the play, haven't we? But it's really one suicidal throw at a line out, and we've basically given Wales the lead. So, that's basically my summary of the first half. Wales, to be fair to them, are defending a lot better than they did last week. They seem to be going back to the more kind of Gatland style, pragmatic kind of rugby. They're not throwing the ball around as much. There we go. That's 7-6 half time.
7-6 half time then.
They're not Wales not throwing the ball around as much. Happy more to take it into the contact than they have been. So I think words have been said after last week with Wales. So they do look a wee bit. I'm not saying they've been great, but they have been a bit more pragmatic than they were last week. So that's where but we'll see how the second half goes. Scotland need to actually execute. Actually start executing our plays a lot better, because we've had a couple of opportunities, but either the wrong decision made or a silly pass, and so that's kind of cost us. And that's where, although I'm with some of those flat passes we were talking about, I'm not sure the referee's been consistent as he could be, because there was one I noticed from Wales that was very dubious that he didn't pick up on. So I think that's for it. Obviously I know referees make mistakes, but that's where he needs to be consistent for both sides more, I'd say. But no, apart from that, not much else to say. What about you?
I think it's been an odd game, hasn't it? There's not been really much rhythm to the game, and Wales, when they got that opportunity, took it. You could say Scotland had some good build-up, but just couldn't execute it really. Losing Finn Russell is going to be a big issue for you. We are going to leave it there for 2-3 minutes. We're going to grab a drink. We'll be back in a second, and you have dropped some comments, so we will get to them, I promise. Again, just a reminder, if you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe, and if you're watching on one of the Facebook pages, give us a follow and a like. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so we are back. Well, I'm back anyway. Kyle will be back in a second. Wales leading this one 7 points to 6. Pretty happy, actually, considering we haven't played that well. I'll bring Kyle in just a second. He is back as well. Let's take a look at some of your comments. First of all, let's see what you guys are saying. quite a few comments to get through. RV Post says this: if Wales picks up their game a bit more, they should be all right. They need to have more passing out to their wing. They keep pushing their tackles, not gaining a lot of ground. Then this one says this: if only Wales just throw their ball out to the wing more to get better runs, not consistently pushing to try and make ground. It's stupid. The score is currently 7 points to 6. Sorry, that is the score at the minute. Ewan says Wainwright won't get near the Lions. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And then Dermot says a very scrappy game. Absolutely, it's been a scrappy one. It's not been the prettiest game so far. We have not, we've not seen the best at rugby. But from a Wales point of view, I think we have to be pretty positive. I mean, we're leading. We've not played very well. Looking at the stats here now, I mean, Scotland have had 58% possession. Territory-wise, they've also dominated, most of the plays being in our own half. So Scotland have really dominated, but we took our opportunity at the end of the day. I remind you just to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, one of our Facebook pages, either Brandon Smith YouTube or on the Welsh Rugby Roundup show, make sure to like our page. Make sure to hit that like page. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free to do, and it just helps to grow this fantastic rugby community that we have here. This is a good comment. Wales hopefully to come back in the second half. I think in the second half it is going to open up. I do think it's going to open up. Let's bring Kyle back in. I'm going to get his perspective on Scotland so far. Kyle, first half, Wales will be pretty happy not performed that well. The sun is shining on me right now as it's shining on Wales. What are your thoughts so far? How are you feeling, really?
A bit somewhere in the middle. I mean, like I say, I'm sort of happy enough we're still in the game, but I'm also I just think like we had most of the momentum in that first half, and it's just one suicidal line-out throw, as I said, has really cost us. So I don't know, and it was just a real simple mistake as well. Just all we had to do is just take it at the front. Like, we didn't even have to set up a full driving maul, just like set it up so it's at least stable, and then get it back to Price or get it back to Russell or Hogg and just boot it away. But it was just, we totally messed it up there. So that's really that grates me a lot. But there's a few wee things. Yeah, as I said, with execution, we need to do better. They were just touching on that moment the Hogg had the break where he passed it out to Harris, and Harris knocked it on. Some people do listen to me because I said he should have cut inside and tried to take on Halfpenny one-on-one and see how he got on, but he didn't. So it's just stuff like that. I think I think Hogg should have just had a bit more self-confidence on. So
yeah, I'm quite surprised he didn't go himself. I have just dropped in the chat, by the way, the link to the Welsh Rugby Roundup show. So do go click on that as it is now half time and check that out, and give a like to the page. But just looking at the Wales try here, just very good patient build-up, going through the phases and then powering over, and the ref was there to see that one go over. A good comment here coming from Dwayne. Being an All Blacks fan, I'm used to seeing stats go against the grain. Scotland threw the kitchen sink at the boys and scored 3. Caution to the wind now, Wales unleash the beast. I think it's really important for us, especially for Wales now, that we don't...
Sorry?
There's quite a few in the team. There's quite a few beasts. I'd say there's 15 beasts across the pitch from a Welsh perspective. But no, I think we have to still be patient. This game is obviously not won, but we have to be patient. We have to understand that that Scotland are a very, very good side. That as teams get more tired, that's when Scotland are going to thrive. I know Finn Russell's off the pitch, but when Hogg gets the ball in open play, it could be quite worrying. I think Kinghorn's a decent winger as well. So there's a few options there that could really punish us. Actually, let's take a look at the benches to see who could have an impact on this one. Let's take a look at the Wales one first of all. I've clicked on the wrong thing. I'm a tit. Right, let me click on the right thing. It usually helps. This is the Wales one. So looking at the bench, obviously James Davis is in the first team now. He's not on the bench. Instead, it's Wainwright. So we got Nick Tompkins, who can play in the centre. Reece Patch as a fly half option. Lloyd Williams. In the forward options then are Corey Hill, Dylan Lewis, Wyn Jones, and Sam Parry. Is there anyone there that you'd be worried about coming onto the pitch and having an impact later on, Kyle?
I say Reece Patchell with what he's capable of. Sort of with his ability to take the ball to the line, and he can be a bit unpredictable. Or if we give him an opportunity, he'd be dangerous. Dylan Lewis is obviously normally an excellent tight head, but he's also a good tight head in open field. Nick Tompkins as well. Again, if you give him any room and he can cut you apart, he can run good angles. So a few worries there, but we'll see what happens now the second half goes.
Definitely. Let's take a look at the Scotland bench then, and that's the France bench. It's not my day. Scotland, here we go. Let's have a look at the Scotland bench then. So on the bench, we've got Stu. I can't actually see this. Let me take this banner down. That's better. So we got the backs and Duan van der Merwe, who I thought played pretty well against Georgia. Obviously, Hastings is on the pitch already. Scott Steele. And then the forwards then, Stuart McAnally, Ollie Kebble, Simon Bergman, Ben Toulis, and Cornel Dupree. Anyone on there? Obviously, I think Duhan is the main threat you'd feel, but anyone you want to see come on?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to when Duan van der Merwe comes on. Again, give him the ball in a bit of space, create a platform for him to run havoc. He can be very dangerous. I'd say also Ollie Kebble is a very accomplished loose head prop, both at scrum time and in open play. So he's one to watch out for. Stuart McAnally, I actually I don't know if it's just my heart talking here after that one throw by Fraser Brown. I'd like to see Stuart McAnally on now. So, but no, he'd be someone who could bring a positive impact as well. So I think those are the main ones from a Scottish point of view to look out for.
Yeah, I think Duhan's a really good player. I think he's big, he's powerful, he can finish, and he's quick as well. And he's maybe something you've been missing from your wing a little bit over the past couple of years.
Yeah, defensively though, he can be a little bit suspect. So it depends how the game's going. If the momentum's going Wales's way, then I'd be a bit more concerned. But if we're starting to get more of a foothold in the game, and given our back line an actual platform to play with, then he's one of the players I definitely want on the pitch.
So a couple of you guys are getting your comments in here. Gregor Galway tends to agree with Duan can make a difference. Freddie Clark would like to see Nick Tompkins coming on and seeing what he can do. There are two games going on today as well. We'll quickly have a chat about them while we're here. The first one is Italy against England. That is happening. Kickoff at 4:45. There's going to be a live stream here on the channel of it as well, a live watch along. That's going to kick off at about 4:30. So once this finishes, it'll be about half an hour or so, and then we'll jump back on for that one. We've spoken about Italy a lot over the past couple of weeks. Not really at the races, to be honest. You're going to be back in England, I know that, but could this be the title wrapped up even before a ball is kicked between Ireland and France? Technically, I know, stats-wise, it won't be because Ireland could match England's score. But do you think this could be the title done and dusted before the game kicks off in France?
I think it will be, because I think both France and Ireland, both are too good to let either of the opponents run away too much. So I think England will win this one very convincingly. I do expect Italy to be a bit better than they were against Ireland last week, and they might have their moments where they give England a couple of scares, but overall England should just have far too much for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see enough from that game against Ireland to show that they're going to do much in it. They are obviously boosted by the likes of Minozzi coming back. We will take a look at the teams in just a second to bring you up to date on who's playing and the impact that they're going to have on the game. The game is in Rome, but you've got to back England for this one. They are so much stronger than Italy, and the depth that they have is something else compared to what Italy have. You look at their bench.
I was going to say pretty much every other team in the competition.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Aside from arguably France, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other game, of course, then is Ireland against France. That could be the game of the weekend. Well, judging on this game, I think it will be the game of the. This is not much to beat. I'm expecting an exciting game. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes, I am. I think it will be. It'll be battle of. Yeah, I was just going to say. France being in Paris, I think France, you have to say, are slight favourites. But Ireland, they have generally showed they have a good defence. But it'll be interesting to see how Stockdale defends from fullback, because we didn't really see him tested at fullback against Italy. Pardon me. If France can also, because this is what England did against them, if France can execute a kicking game that can cause Ireland to be running backwards, that's where Ireland have shown to have problems. Last time we saw them, that happened to them against England, of course. But also, from an Irish point of view, the main person they need to stop is Dupont, because if the French pack can get on top of the game and give Dupont the platform, then Dupont can just run riot and and just control the game like it's an armchair ride. I don't know if I've phrased that particularly well, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you expect France to look to turn the ball about, don't you?
If Ireland can cause France problems at the breakdown, and because when big way Scotland managed to beat France, as we did manage to put a tight defence around the breakdowns, which basically, and when the ball came out, we more or less were right in Dupont's face straight away, which didn't give him the time or the space to really do what he wants. So that's an area Ireland will need to definitely look out for and try and exploit. But it's going to be not as easy as I'm saying it's going to be. As I say,
yeah, and Ireland, if they can get the set piece, they can get organised, then they can stifle this French side. The game has kicked off, by the way. The second half has kicked off here. I think the next score is going to be quite important. Do you think?
Yeah. No, if Wales get it, then I think we're in trouble. If Scotland get it, then I think we've got a good chance.
But, yeah. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Thank you, Joe. Go on, sorry, mate.
No. I'm just going to say Wales just kicked it a bit there. I didn't know why they did that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need to be patient because, as I said, we will get phases in this game where we will dominate and we will look to hopefully play a bit of rugby. But again, it's about having that patience, building the right to go wide and to try different things. I'd like to see the likes of Josh Adams get on the ball more, see what he can do. Liam Williams has been very, very quiet so far.
To be fair, though, on his 149th cap so far, Alan Wynne-Jones has been, I have to say, absolutely excellent. He's been total nuisance at the breakdown. He's turned over crucial line out, and always when he gets the opportunity, he carries hard. So he does it. I mean, but it's again just one of those players. It's like the sort of the flashy stuff. Maybe the average neutral doesn't notice or appreciate so much, but he just does it all so brilliantly. And so you've got to say he's the best second row forward Wales have ever produced. You'd say.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, he's like an old wine. He just gets better with age. It seems his experience, and although I still think he's got the physical ability, but although he may not have the speed that he used to, his knowledge and his understanding of what to do means he's always in the right place at the right time.
Well, the position he plays, speed isn't the be all and end all. He showed he's still got the brains for it. He's still got the physique. He still keeps himself very fit. So he's
well. Interestingly, Big has gone off here. I'm assuming it's an injury.
Yeah,
he's holding his side. So Patchell's on. Patchell may be a little bit more attacking. So it's going to be interesting to see what impact this has on the game. He's holding, I think.
It looks like a leg. It looks like a leg injury when he's going on.
That's what I thought. Maybe just not taking too much of a chance. But I mean, Patchell will look to run the ball a lot more. I mean, I'm a big fan of Patchell. I'm a big fan of him.
Well, Patchell's one of these players. Again, when he's getting a good platform and he can do what he wants, he can be. Oh no! Please don't say Alan Hastings is coming off. Adam Hastings got an injury now, so it means we won't have a 10 if he has to go off.
Quite a few injuries have gone on in this
Oh,
game so far.
Looks like
Is
he's
he all
fine.
right?
Looks like he's fine. It looked like an arm. I was just worried it was a dislocated shoulder, but no, he looks okay, I think. Yeah. Oh no, it was his arm that hit the deck that kind of got him. I think it was just a bit of a whiplash kind of thing. So just.
Yeah, he was telling the physios that he was fine, trying to walk away. I'm fine.
Aye.
Yeah, big hit there coming in from Owen Watkin. He's a strange one, Owen Watkin. I never felt like he had a well, he did and he didn't. He had some games where I thought he played really, really well, and then he just didn't kind of fit into the system, and Hadley Parks was being played. But I'm a massive fan of him. I really, really like him. And I think alongside Jonathan Davis, that could be a heck of a partnership. I do like Nick Tompkins as well. Maybe I'm a bit biased coming from an Ospreys perspective, because I do watch him every week, and I think he's absolutely brilliant for us. He just gets to the game line, runs straight and hard. And yeah,
I know for what I've seen of him, he is a talent, Watkins. But I mean, again, that's to be. Oh, no, fair enough. No, he is a talent. He's got a good. Seems to like he's got a mostly decent brain on him. Got good feet on him. He's quite powerful as well for a 12. But I just kind of hope also that Wales don't use him like a Jamie Roberts kind of role and actually play with a bit of variety. Because I think it's
going to be. Go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's fine, but you can have a 12 that does that every so often when needed, just ability just to crash over the gain line at first or second phase, just to get him going and get the play going. But if you're using it every single time, then you become too predictable. And I think Wales, you'll know this yourself, Wales need to be at the point where they're moving away from having that kind of 12.
Yeah, and I think, as you said there, the Jamie Roberts kind of mould is something that we want to move away from. So it's going to be interesting to see how Pivac can facilitate players such as Owen Watkin in this system. How can we get the best out of them? Because he's not going to step 3 players like Jonathan Davis can or like Nick Tompkins can, but he is an effective player and he does, I believe, have a role in this team. But how Pivac is able to fit him into the system and enable the players around him to still play the way that Pivac wants to play is going to be interesting. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Again, this second half hasn't really started with anything special happening. It's more entertaining to watch the subs warming up behind the goal line, to be honest. You can see the breeze though is having an effect on the game. The flags are certainly in the wind.
Don't get isolated. Oh, no, not a maul. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. To be fair, Shane Lewis-Hughes is playing very well as well today. I think he was him and Alan Wynne who got that turnover. So, no, he's like I say, he's Lewis-Hughes. He's done himself good credit on his first cap. So,
yeah, they were holding him up there. Ref calls that it's a maul. Fair play to them.
Yeah, was our own faults there because I think was it Sutherland who got turned. He was he went in on his own, and the 2 big Welsh forwards there was always going to be it's just.
I want to get your thoughts on this though. Alan Wynne there shouting at the ref, telling him what's going on. You a fan of that? And not just because Alan Wynne against you, but as a referee in general, how do you feel about that?
No, I absolutely hate that. I prefer to be seeing what is going on with my own eyes, and it doesn't help me when players are shouting things because it just makes me personally, I can't speak for every single ref, but it just makes me more resilient and not want to listen to them because it's like you're trying to cheat your way out of X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to call it what I see with my own eyes. But, So, but I mean, again, if I need to speak to players, it's old Nigel Owens tactic. It's not soccer.
Yeah. I do think that Adam Wynn is actually very good at that, though. I think he's very good at talking to the ref and sweet talking the ref a little bit and getting on his side. I do think he is very, very good at that.
Yeah.
And you'd hope that a ref wouldn't be
Again,
affected by that, but they are.
So I'm not trying to be biased here, but I'm just kind of sick of these not straight feeds at the scrum not being picked. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, yeah, because I mean that's about like I think every single scrum, Gareth Davis, he's just chucking it into the second row's feet, and the referee's not picking it up. To be fair,
I do think that happens all the time, though, doesn't it?
I was going to say, to be fair, Ali Price has probably done it a few times more. I'm just maybe not noticing it as much, but.
The thing is, the ref can't even see this side of the scrum, can he? That's the problem.
Well,
so he doesn't know.
Well, but that's the thing. He should still be, but the fact there's so much focus on the front rows of the scrum staying up that, I mean, again, by law, it's just again like because there's so because like I said, there's so much focus on referees, like sort of. I think this is more the authorities' fault than the referees, just telling them to focus so much on the front rows that the rest of the game, the rest of the parts of the game they meant to be looking out for, sometimes goes away a bit.
Yeah.
Again, that's not necessarily right. Just what happens.
I mean, as a referee, you must be watching everything, and there just must be so much going on, and so many different voices telling you so many different things.
Thank you. Yeah. It's again sometimes it's part and parcel, but as long as you can do your job properly, that's the main thing.
It's been a strange start to the second half, very scrappy. Wales maybe slightly more dominant, maybe, but again, it's just a scrappy game. But at the end of the day, I actually think for us as a team to get a result here is quite important because we've lost 4 on the bounce. So to try and get a result here would hopefully get rid of that. And I don't know, with the Autumn Nations Cup, I'm interested to get your thoughts on this from a Scotland perspective. What are your expectations? Do you want to do well in it, or is it about maybe giving Townsend the opportunity to try different things? What is it for you?
Well, doing well, hopefully getting a few wins out of it. And again, just trying to get some momentum going into the Six Nations. Keep it steady. Again, Wales are getting on top in the scrum now, mostly.
So one change gone through there. Wyn Jones is on for Rhys Carey, so he's got a try there.
Good start for him. He's just won a penalty off.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. We were just talking about the Autumn Nations Cup there. Just looking at the groups. Let's talk about Scotland first of all then. So in your group, you have Fiji, France and Italy. You'll play Italy away, you'll play France at home, and you'll play Fiji at home. How do you feel about that group? Is that a group that you think you should be getting out of?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I think all 3 games very capable of winning. Yeah, if we can get out of that, hopefully top. France, I think France will be the toughest of the 3 games, but we can get that out. I think we can definitely get out of it leading it. And then that'll be a good thing. And whoever we get after that, then we'll see how we go.
So this tournament kicks off on the 13th of November, and then Wales have in their group Ireland, Georgia, and England. A very difficult group. I'd expect us to beat Georgia. But then looking at England and Ireland, I'm interested to see how Ireland go this weekend, and England as well.
Something happened there. Obstruction, apparently. Let's have a look. Oh, you fool. Get him off. Fraser Brown, get him off now. I know he's injured. I don't mean that in an ill way, but just that was absolutely blatantly stupid.
Well, as you said, Fraser Brown is injured, holding his leg.
Yeah, but what he did was absolutely stupid. He just ran straight in front of, I think it was Liam Williams, Liam Williams. That was, no excuse for that. So
It's a
right,
strange one because Liam Williams is very unlikely to get to that ball.
no, but that's not the point, mate. It's like because
Yeah, I
Fraser
know.
Brown has made that run, so he stopped him being
Mm.
able to get any chance of like getting there. So he's done that to himself, I'd say.
Yeah.
No, just
Yellow card or just a penalty? What are you thinking?
I'd say just a penalty because he's not like.
Again, 10 minutes gone so far, 7-6 up. But you just feel like Wales slightly beginning to dominate now, just being very professional. That's how I'm seeing it at the minute. We're being professional. We're not doing anything silly. And I think we need to start getting some points on the board. If we get a penalty, we just take the points. I don't think we go for the try. And then we keep the scoreboard ticking, hopefully. But as I said before, the next score is pivotal in this one. And yeah,
He's starting to get on top of us at scrum time, which is a bit of a worry. I mean, I'd get Ollie Kebble on, hope for us on loose heads to try and shore things up a wee bit.
Let's go through some of your comments with the pause in the game at the minute. France and Scotland to top that group. I personally see that's how it's going to be. And England and Wales on the other side. I'm biased, though. We'll have to wait and see. I love the name of this channel, Jack Goodhue's X Mullet. Am I the only one? Super happy to see Watkins on at 12. Let's see him whip the ball out of someone's hands. I'm a massive fan. I'm a massive fan of him. I love seeing Watkins play and seeing what he can do. I really enjoyed the name of that channel. Maybe I'll have to nick that one at some point.
Get him on. Aye, name alone should be enough for a podcast there. just do an hour speaking about where he got what he's done with Jack Goodhue's mullet.
Well, we did chat, of course, about the mullets last week, didn't we? We spoke about Hamish Watson's mullet, and you weren't a fan, were you?
No, I hate. Oh God, no, that's a risky one. There was it looks like a bit of a shoulder charge there from the Scottish player. I don't know if
has the ref picked up on it.
Nothing awarded.
Potentially TMO could have a look at it.
No, I don't know if the TMO's had a word with them or not yet, but again, Wales playing a lot more pragmatic today in attack. Oh, we've turned it over. You seem to have gone back to the more Gatland style.
Pick and go, one pass, two guys goes over.
Which is again, it's not always exciting to watch, but it can be very effective. But at the same time, your defense is a lot better than last week, and looks a lot tighter generally.
It does. It seems like we just, being patient, pick and go, get the. I don't know, just being patient. Scotland did just win the penalty just before then.
Looked like looked like a dubious shoulder charge before then. I don't know if that wasn't picked up. So I'm not complaining.
Welcome to everyone who's just joined. We got nearly 60 people currently watching, which is fantastic. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and check out the links to the Facebook pages. If you're watching on Facebook, then make sure to like our pages. Welsh Rugby Roundup show on Monday night, 8:30 on the Facebook page, on the YouTube page, so you can watch it along. And also check out Carl's channel. He did a really good preview of all the games. And I'm sure you'll be doing some reviews over the weekend as well, yeah?
Yes, I will be. Again. Never mind, sorry. Yes, I will be. Basically just get a camera on myself, get my thoughts on what happened. So if you like a ramble and...
Hey, it's all about chatting about rugby, isn't it? The game we love. And rugby is a game of opinions, and I'm always right. You'll find it hard to believe, but I am always right. So, yeah.
What?
Still 7-6 here. It's not a beautiful game, but...
Well, neither team can seem to get a foothold at all, like, right now. It's like it gets stop-start with either a penalty or a scrum. What was that? Oh, yeah, that's just stupid. Because you should have used it at that maul there. I Ali Price is another one I'd probably bring off soon because he's still too. There's still too many moments for me. He's too slow with getting the ball out of there. And just
Well, I was wondering why Horn wasn't in the squad, the scrum half.
I think he's injured.
Is he injured?
I think so. I couldn't tell you the details, but I mean that's the last I checked. And got Scott Steele on the bench. I don't know that much about him, but.
I just want to say something about the chat. There's some comments going on which are, quite frankly, not good and unacceptable. So if you're wanting to be racist or sexist or anything like that, you can simply piss off, because I'm not having that in my chat. So I've blocked 2 people already, and I'm happy to do it again if people are going to be like that. That's not what rugby's about. Rugby's about bringing people together. Everyone can join in. Doesn't matter who you are. So just be respectful. Don't be little pricks. And please, be respectful to each other. I know I just called you a lot of pricks, but but please, just this is not a place for politics. We're about rugby here, and let's keep it about that.
Well,
so approaching the last 20.
You get I don't know. You just get folk who are you're just going to say things. So just
absolutely. So approaching the last 20 here. I mean, next score again, as we've said so many times, is pivotal in this one.
We've been doing well on the breakdowns, to be fair, but we haven't done much with it when we've got the chance.
I feel like this game just needs one moment of magic, doesn't it? One moment of magic to really get the game going, because it's been pretty dire at points, to be honest.
Jesus. Just reading back some of the chats, where's that all come from?
Yeah, I know. At the end of the day, look, guys,
Jesus.
Rugby is a game for everyone. And if you can't accept that, then rugby isn't the sport for you. I love the fact that we can chat, we can enjoy rugby together, we can have banter together. It's great. But there's a line, and it's about having respect. We love rugby and we want to chat rugby, and that's the most important thing.
Can't we just, I don't know, can't we just talk about rugby here, guys? Yeah.
Such a scrappy game now, isn't it?
Yeah, aye. Still not a lot going on.
No, it's a scrappy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, just such a scrappy game. There's not really much going on, is there at all? It's a weird one, this.
I would say, if you don't mind me saying, Brandon, folk could just stick to rugby here.
Yeah.
No problems if you don't like what either of us have got to say, but if you're, getting all political and nasty and all that, then I'd say this isn't the place for that.
No, it's not. Definitely not. Right. Yeah, very scrappy one now. Not much really going on. Guys in the chat, get your thoughts on, of course, about the games that are happening this afternoon. There's some more games. England against Italy and then France against Ireland. What are your predictions for that one?
Oh, come on. It's Yes!
Scotland have scored here. Right. Go on, Kyle. Talk us through it.
Driving maul. We actually go for a more pragmatic approach, and it's... didn't see who has come up. I think it's McAnally. Yeah, I think. Off a driving maul. We actually get some territory in the Welsh 22 for the first time this half, if I can remember. And just off the maul. Drive it forward and just go from there. So happy enough about that.
Scotland leading now.
All right, but no, that's well worked. And actually, I think the first time in this half we've actually managed to get a wee bit of. I mean, it all would be off a driving maul, but a wee bit of a pattern and go forward.
Absolutely. Well, they work so well against Georgia. I'm quite surprised that you haven't really looked to use that at all. But the lineouts haven't been great either. So
we've tried it a few times, but it doesn't seem to have worked. So, oh come on, just. Oh, he's missed it. Shocking.
He didn't have a great weekend last weekend, did he, to be honest? So.
Aye, but no, those kicks are at that level. They're inexcusable, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's not a hard kick, is it?
No, fair. I mean, if it was on the touchline, I'd be thinking a bit more forgivable, but it's inexcusable.
Absolutely. But Scotland in the lead here. Hopefully this opens the game up a little bit. Hopefully. Hopefully you see the game open up a bit. Just as the game is a little bit quieter now, let's have a chat about the France-Ireland game. Let's have a look at the teams. I have the teams. I'm going to put them on the screen now for you to take a look at. Let's have a look at the French one first of all. Here it is then, France against Ireland. Starting with the fullback Boutier with Vatez on the wing alongside Ficou and Vincent and Vakatawa in the centres with Dupont and Vakatawa at 9 and 10. And then the front row then is Bailly, Marchand and Huas with Leroux and Wilhelms then in the lock positions. And then Gross, Aldrit and Olivon completes the forwards. What are your thoughts on that team? Do you like the look of it?
Yeah, more or less the same as last week, apart from Teddy Thomas out through injury, of course. But I think I'll be interested to see how Ficou gets on at the wing. He's more a centre. I think against Wales, he played in the wing as well, Ficou, and he had a decent game that day. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But apart from that, looking forward to seeing how this French team do.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the Ireland team then. Let's start with the fullback. Stockdale at fullback with Conway and Keenan as the wingers with the centre partnership of Aki and Henshaw. And then Conor Murray at 9 with Sexton at 10. And then looking at the forwards then, Healy, Herring and Porter as the front row with Byrne and Ryan as the lock. and then Doris, Connors, and then Stander. Your thoughts on that team, Kyle?
Well, just the one change, of course. Henshaw replacing Gary Ringrose, 13. Gary Ringrose sadly got a broken jaw. Yeah, I think, especially the newer players that came in last week, Keenan and Connors deserve their shout again. But I think some of the more experienced players need to step up a lot more in this game, particularly Murray and Sexton. Sexton did pretty well last week. Murray, I still don't think he's up to the standards he was a few years ago. They'll need to step it up. So, but it doesn't surprise me that Farrell's gone for more or less the same team.
Yeah, definitely.
Mill's got a penalty here.
Yeah, Halfpenny's going to be kicking this one.
Aye.
To within one score, hopefully, of the Scottish.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 minutes to go. Game pretty much in the balance here. What would be the mindset of Scotland now going into this last 15? What do they need to do, do you feel?
Not give any penalties away in their own half. That's Van der Merwe on as well.
Oh, let's see what he can offer to the team.
Who's he coming on for? I think it's King Home.
A couple of comments to go through now regarding the rugby. Joe Lyon says this about the Irish Time: 3 pairs of players wrong. Doris to 8 and CJ to 6. Conway to 15 and Stockdale to 14. I'd also have had Toner on the bench, so having a real reshuffle of that team. And Gregor Galway then says, you never know which French team will turn up. Well, we just don't know, do we? And hopefully they can play some good rugby. That'll be really good to see. It should be a cracker of game, especially if there's an opportunity for something to actually happen in this game, then that could be quite impressive.
To be fair though, since I think this is Sean Edwards' impact since he's come in, France have looked a lot more disciplined in certain areas of their game than they were before. But still, there's still moments that happen in games where you just think Sean Edwards would be sort of wanting to tear his bald head to bits, because they can go through moments, as we know, where they can be brilliant. They can be, at the breakdowns, they can be really competitive. They can be absolute nightmare to play against, or beautiful to watch. And then there's other moments where they can just do something absolutely crazy, and sort of you just if you're a France fan, you just want to be hitting your head off something. Oh, here we go! Come on! Oh, no support. Just kick.
Oh, Scotland here.
Good play, Liam Williams.
Will it be a drop goal to win it?
Game's starting to open up now.
It is. And that's what we kind of expected, wasn't it? That, mistakes start to happen, sloppiness, tiredness would come into play, and there'd be gaps in the defence. But the question is, who has the better players to really penalise them? And this is where Finn Russell thrive, isn't it? This is where he would really have a massive impact on the game.
Yeah, but he's not on the pitch, so
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather. I mean, well, good for Wales, but I don't know. I'd rather focus on who's there and who's not. So.
Absolutely. 10 minutes to go then till the final whistle.
Yeah, I think as we said in the preview, this is going to come down to one mistake, one moment of madness, one moment of magic maybe, and whichever team provides that will win the game. If it's the mistake, obviously losing. If it's the moment of magic, obviously winning.
Absolutely. Some comments coming through now. Hogg, the human pinball, if I was Scottish and on the attack, I'd want Hogg to get the ball all the time. The bloke's bloody brilliant. Joe Lyons then says, Liam Williams is class, but play him at 15. I think Halfpenny is there on reputation and not on form. Interesting.
He's had an okay game today, Halfpenny, and he's looked a lot more solid under the high ball than he had been earlier in the championship, and he's done the solid stuff a lot better today. But if you're wanting I think a bit more variety and a bit more go forward from your fullback, I think you have to pick Liam Williams long term.
Yeah. Scott Steele on for Ali Price at scrum half. What can he offer Scotland in this last 10 minutes, do you feel?
Oh, who's he come on? I don't know. Has he come on for Ali Price? Because Ali Price is still on the pitch. He's on the pitch, but I don't know who he's on for.
He is. Wales ringing the change as well. Falatau and Ryan Elias are leaving. Right, it's coming up now. It's Alan Suitinby. So Sam Parry's on for Ryan Elias. And Wainwright is on for Falatau. We know that. Who's Scott Steele on for, though? That's the question.
Fine.
Well, Ali Price is still on, so...
Yeah, feel free to leave your comments, guys, on who Scott Steele comes for. Pardon our... Oh, no, it looks like Adam Hastings has gone off. That's a blow.
This is going to be interesting.
Hoggs looks like Hoggs moved to 10. Darcy Graham probably moved. No, Kinghorn would have moved to fullback, and Steele looked like he's
on the wing.
To the wing, yes. But this is where I think Hogg needs to let his captaincy kind of do the talking here, just. Because he has played 10, not for Scotland, but he's played 10 for the Lions before. So it's not as if albeit not for a few years, so he's not alien to the role. But he does need to be just, again, if I were him, I'd just be thinking, okay, nothing too fancy. If a gap appears, go for it. But just make sure pragmatic, make sure just, going through the phases, nothing silly at all. Don't give the ball away needlessly. Just
keep it simple.
Aye.
Simple passes.
Aye.
I mean, if he wants to throw a ridiculous pass and Gareth Davis intercepts it, then he can absolutely go for it.
Aye.
Penalty to Scotland there for the scrum.
Aye, scrum starting to come. It went away for a bit, but it's starting to come back better now. It's kind of sad. It's not been a terribly. I don't know. Just the way that both teams can play the style. I mean, it's not been terribly exciting. Or I don't know if
Lewis. Sorry, go on.
I don't know if partly the conditions have been partly to do with that, or just Wales seem to have gone again because of how bad the defence was last week. They've gone back into their more Gatland style attritional brand. With a very solid rush defence.
So a couple of interesting comments coming through. Joe Lyons says next score is massive. Absolutely it is. Lloyd Williams is on first cap since 2016 for him. Hopefully he can speed the game a little bit up for us.
He's still playing?
Yeah, he's captain of Cardiff Blues. He's been playing pretty well for them. He's still there.
Pardon my ignorance.
Sorry, we jump into this one. A loss for Wales at home to Scotland would be a disaster. I don't know if it'd be a disaster, but it's certainly not a result that we want.
I'll take it. We are starting to. I mean, that was a decent kick there, but yeah, that was good play. I think. Right.
Do you think this would be seen as progress for Scotland if you can get a result here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's still a lot of things we've got to work on and improve on, but that's international rugby. It's about you need to be winning. It's about winning, and I mean, it's all very well saying you can play this way or play that way, but if you're not getting the results, then we'll see. I sometimes just think, what's the point? But with regards to Wales, though, I would say, like, irrespective of what happens here, you have to give Pivac more time. Because he's got I'd give him at the very least the next Six Nations, maybe the following one, and if there's no progress being made there, then I think okay to have the conversations about maybe having a change towards the next World Cup. But I mean, again, just because he's just in the job, he just has to be given the time to try and really stamp his style on the team and actually get them clicking properly, which again, we'll see how that goes. But I understand, like, there won't be folk who'll hang around forever, but I mean, just I think another Six Nations or two before the conversations start about whether you just want to change or not with him. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I think he needs time, but then there's a set amount of time before. If you want to make a change, you need to make a change at a certain point because you got the World Cup coming up. Lewis Patterson asked, when was the last time Wales lost our hopes to Scotland? That was back in 2002.
Yeah, Bill built the last game that the late great Bill McLaren commentated on. I remember it very well. It was a terrible game, but we won it. So, and I remember it well. Gordon Bullock a couple of tries. Scott Murray got man of the match because he destroyed the Welsh line out that day. And if Nick Tompkins coming on now, you think that's a bit late, or should have been on earlier, or?
I don't know. It's such a tight game and it's all over the place.
It's hard.
I don't know.
It's hard to. I mean, it seems to be mostly the forwards that are dictating the game. Well, it normally is, but hard to see how he. I mean, obviously, if it comes to 80 minutes, he does. I'll stand to be corrected, but it's hard to say how he can really make a massive impact on this game.
I know. I mean, it's going to come down to discipline now.
Yeah, we're just looking like to try to keep it tight. Use it, you twat. No, sorry. Use it. Come on, use it. Get it. Right. I will say I'd like referees to be a lot hotter on the 5-second rule after they say use it. Because I think sometimes they do dally a bit and let teams set up. It's like, as soon as because the law is, as soon as the referee said use it, you've got 5 seconds to do something with it. And then it's the referee's decision to turn the ball over. But I just don't think referees are as hot on that as they could be.
Five minutes or so to go here. Here's a question for you, Kyle. Laura asked this: is Scotland better under Greg or not? What do you think?
Better since the World Cup. I mean, going into the World Cup, we definitely thought gone backwards under him. But I mean, now we're going for a bit more pragmatism with our rugby, and I think that's benefiting us. We're being a lot more competitive in matches. So I'd say, in that sense, in the results sense, we are improving, but there's still a lot of work to be done. I still don't always think we get the balance of our play as right as we could do. And there's sometimes when we do make things happen, we still, get caught making a mistake or, just a bit of naivety. So there's definitely improvements, but still work to do.
And I think this kind of game is a good test for you because if you can close this game out, it shows that you have the game management. You can go through the phases, you can be patient, you take your chances when you need to. And at the end of the day, a win away at, not Italy in the Six Nations is a good result, you'd have to say.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's
Really not long to go here now.
we're just
Wales need the ball. We need the ball.
We're not. It's not great rugby to watch, but we're being smart enough and just not giving
Playing in the right areas of the pitch, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Oh, it needs to be smarter there. This is where we need to be switched on.
So a line out to Wales. Well, we're going to have to go the whole pitch if we want to do this. Oh, they're taking it quick. Oh, bloody hell.
Come on, just get switched on. Go on, pressure, quicker. Oh, I went backwards. Yes! Yes!
What's happened there? Talk us through it.
Penalty. Wales trying to play it out their own half. Jonathan Davis getting caught isolated there. He sort of dropped the ball backwards, then it went forwards a bit. I thought the referee didn't see it go forwards, but he took it into contact and just go for the points. Use the full minute.
Yeah, if they have rugby on them, they will do that here.
Jamie Ritchie has been named man of the match. Well deserved, I think.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he? He's been over the ball. He's been so powerful.
He's been absolutely fantastic again. I mean, I know this has not been a great game, but the work he does around the pitch is just, he's just second to none. He's just absolutely brilliant.
He is indeed. Joe Lyons says Scotland just seem to want this win more than Wales. Seem to be going through the motions in a dead rubber end of season game. Interesting comment there.
I wouldn't fully agree with that. I mean, can't say Wales haven't tried. It's just the style hasn't been.
Yeah.
It's just like little things they're just still not getting right. And they tried to, again, as I said, go back to the more Gatland style of play, which has served them well in some areas because they have defended better than they have done. But again, they just seem to have lost that edge of just being smart at crucial times.
So yes. Scotland will definitely. There you go. That's the game. Scotland have won here down at Parc y Scarlets. Your emotions. How are you feeling?
Relieved. Because that was a horrible game of rugby. I mean, so for the neutral, you'll probably be, either frustrated or bored watching that. So,
it's. I don't know what I think of it from a Welsh perspective. It was an awful game. It was all over the place, really, and I mean Scotland, I think, just about deserved to win it. And I think, the forwards won this one. Jamie Ritchie was brilliant over the ball, just slowing everything down, being very frustrating. And at the end of the day,
I think that was the biggest difference was at the breakdown. Because at the breakdown, I think we were absolutely pulverised Wales for the most part, and the scrums as well. We were mostly better than Wales too. So it really comes down to the old cliche of forwards win your matches and backs decide by how much.
Absolutely. So Scotland winning that one, 14 points to 10. It's a victory for Scotland. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, leave a like, and follow us on our socials. Give us your final thoughts.
Aye.
Final thoughts, Kyle. What are you thinking going forward now for Scotland?
Well, like I said, good to get a win here. Showed we can win ugly, which is again from a neutral standpoint and an entertainment standpoint isn't always fun to watch. But international rugby is about winning, so that's something we can take positives for. And going forward into the Autumn Nations Cup with a bit of confidence as well. Still a lot of things to work on, but overall, fairly happy place and 3 wins in the championship, which isn't too bad either.
Absolutely. And from Wales' perspective, again, we're building, and we showed, we're a bit more not so attack focused. We did the simple things, but at the end of the day, I don't think we created enough, and Scotland deserves to win this. But that's where we're going to leave this stream. And yeah, thank you so much for joining, getting involved, and we will see you on the next one. Take it easy.